What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Katumwa. We back with another reaction for Pearly Things. Excuse me, I just lost my voice a little bit, so excuse me for that, but let's get right into it.
Obviously you mentioned online, but I genuinely feel like a lot of men are looking for wives in whole houses, right?
In
Yeah.
whorehouses.
In
Yeah.
figuratively, yeah. Basically, you're picking the wrong women. You're looking for a lot of men are kind of like going
Yeah.
for women, just bumping into them like in the club, or they're looking for where they can find an easy woman because it makes the chase a lot easier. What is the best physical place for a man to meet a wife, in your opinion?
Physical
Yeah,
place?
as in like real life, not online.
Ideally, it would be in the gym for me. I'm real big on fitness, like gym.
Okay.
But what I'll say about those guys that are shopping in whorehouses is
Switch to Chrome to load your favorite sites
Man, what the
faster
fuck?
so you can browse with ease.
it kind of goes.
I'm gonna say real quick though, me personally, the gym has become such a weird place to bite down. Like, I can't bite down at the gym. I need to get my workout in and get up out of there. I ain't trying to end up on TikTok. Plus, it's just always awkward. Like, but if you got a nice little situation where you can bite down at the gym, by all means, do it. It's not my preferred place to bite down on women though. Even though there probably there's a lot of good women at the gym, though, no cap.
Back to they didn't do the work to
So maybe I need to change something, I guess.
be in abundance.
Mm-hmm.
So I've slept with a bunch of Instagram models, right? I would never, never, never take them seriously
Mm.
Why?
because their titties are all over the internet.
And that is a problem.
It's
for
a big
you.
problem, yeah.
She's talking about
I
that's,
get that. To be
Because she
fair.
didn't keep that
she's talking about, and that's a problem for you. Like, yes, what do you mean?
secret.
Yeah, but you could cover her up.
If she changed,
This is what the issue is with like modern day dating. You're supposed to fix everything. Like, okay, as a guy, a woman's not gonna look at you like, oh, I can level him up. Oh, I can do this for him. I can do that for him. She's gonna expect you to come correct as a man, correct? Right? So why don't you come correct as a woman? Why do I have to cover you up after you've already exposed yourself to the internet? There's no covering you up. I'm not fixing you. That's not no. And then y'all want to complain. If you met her here, why would you pay her to change? She was just like this. Why you pay her to change? No, it's not. I wouldn't expect you to change. That's why I'm not picking you.
the whole account immediately, maybe, but that's a big maybe.
But if you could do it, that means that the guys probably did it as well, isn't it? Like in itself.
Right,
like,
exactly.
no.
But the thing too is this is like, so the more simp guy, the more the guy that didn't take care of his business, the guy that's not in abundance in his life,
Mm.
he'll take her immediately because that's the hottest girl he can get.
Yeah.
But he's picking the wrong cloth. It goes back to what we talked
not
about
hearing
earlier
you.
about like what
You're
makes
not
a
hearing
woman look good for a high level man online. It's being the right cloth. You can show that you're built well without showing the assets themselves.
Yeah. It's interesting that you said that he could cover her up, though, because if Sneeko had said that, said, "Oh, I'll just cover her up," you'd have said he was misogynist.
Mm-hmm.
But you're
You
right.
could ask.
maybe they got off on the
Yeah,
wrong
but
foot.
men, I think some men have unrealistic standards, though.
In what way?
Because you said that you would meet your ideal partner in the gym. So she could be like,
A gym or work or anywhere normal.
I think
Mm.
Not a club.
I think it's not
It's
the.
How is that unrealistic? Girls go to the gym all the time, and 9 out of 10, if you're looking for a girl that's in shape, ain't no better place to find her than the gym. But like I said, I don't bite down at the gym. That shit's always just awkward. I always go get my workout in and get up out of there.
basically
venue.
what I'm trying
I'll probably maybe catch a girl at that motherfucking Starbucks. I don't even eat Starbucks, drink Starbucks, but I'll walk in that motherfucker just to find me a little year. And not no snow bunny either, you hear me?
I think it's not the venue so much. I mean, yeah, I'd agree, not a club, but I think it's not beyond that. It's not the venue so much. It's does the guy have a decent vetting system
That's
in
it.
place? Like,
Yeah.
is he? And you're right. If you don't have any abundance, you know, if this girl that you've met, who maybe, you know, she's got some questionable morals or she's not ideal for you, but she's the best that you've ever got, you're going to cling on to that like it's your life depends on it, right? And actually, what you need to do is have the power not to do that. You know, to let a woman go, even if she's incredibly beautiful. You know, to like with the Instagram models, you know, just let her go because she's not right for you. Okay, so you and
Fellas, and that's the hardest thing to do is let go of an incredibly beautiful girl that you know is not right for you. Oftentimes in my life, I done fucked myself over because of just how beautiful the girl was. I've ignored so many different signs that I probably wouldn't have went for in like a 6 or 7. You know what I'm saying?
you've got to vet. You've got to know what you're looking for, and you've got to stick to those those boundaries that you have for yourself.
So another question for you too. Other than obviously the physical appearance, what other ways do you spot red flags in a woman? What's your trick? How do you filter through what you say is decent, what is not, in terms of like the mentality, the things you can't actually see?
You got to look at their behavior, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like if she slept with you on the first date, are you not going to take her serious? I'm
Let me answer this before they answer that question, though. Me personally, whether or not we sleep together on the first date doesn't determine whether or not you're wifey material. I probably already determined that prior to even sleeping with you. A guy doesn't go based off of those type. I don't think a lot of guys go based off of those type of things unless we met at the club and then slept together, and that's different. But 9 times out of 10, before a guy sleeps with you, he already knows whether or not you're wifey material. It's not whether or not you sleep with him on that first night that would indicate whether or not you are a wife. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that's. It might hold a little bit of weight, but that's not necessarily what I would go based off of. Unless it's like you met at the club, slept with her, of course, obviously in that situation, no go.
No, that's
yeah, because that's the real thing. Because I think women feel like a real attraction and a pull to someone that you really like, because in that time is it in innate behavior.
I can tell you this: I have felt women not sleep with me on a first date, knowing they wanted to, just to try to defend against that. And I think it's a smart move. I respect it. But what attracts me just as much as beauty, well, not as much as beauty, I don't think that's fair, but a woman that's level-headed and based.
What do you mean by that? By based?
So
I hear that a lot.
Okay, cool. So I just said something that you don't like, right? But you're intelligent enough to have a real conversation and not go boom off the wall, can't hear what I'm saying anymore. We can have a real conversation. That's intellectually attractive.
Want a lawn that looks like this, but your lawn looks a little bit more like this? Then you should click right here and check out True Green. We're the local lawn experts that guarantee results you can see. We do the hard work for you, like clearing.
That's a smart thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how a woman can, like, you sit in it. It's the combative women, the ones that want to argue with you and everything's a problem. And then you're like, dude, I'm not arguing with you. I'm an adult. I'm going to act like an adult. If we can have a conversation about
in this day and age, I promise you, I would rather be with a 6.5, a 7 that's calm and collected and listen, and we can actually have cohesive conversations rather than the 10 that's emotionally erratic and doesn't want to hear shit you have to say when it comes to her emotions. And that's not terms for a healthy relationship.
If you can have hard conversations with men about hard subjects and really step back and kind of separate the emotion, because here's the thing. Let's say you agree to that and you stay with a man and you suspect he's doing something behind your back, right? You think you're not going to cry? You're going to fucking cry and you're going to be upset. Hopefully there's enough trust and love in that relationship that you can bring that pain to him and he's there to foster you through it. You look to him to help you through it because you look up to him, because he's there for you, because you trust him, because he has proven himself to you. If you can get there with a man, dude, I truly believe that the chances of divorce at that point are almost next to nothing. Also, by the way, if you are that type of woman, and I'm not trying to do a campaign for promoting women to let men cheat, but he ain't going to leave your ass either. He definitely probably not going to leave you.
Yeah, but they say that men don't leave their dummies.
Men don't leave their dummies?
Yeah.
Well, that's your perspective. I think those men probably love those women, take care of.
I was about to say, who says that? Other women? Like, come on now.
From a long time. And who's the joke on? Because the other women are with the box wine and the cats. That girl is probably on a jet to Dubai for family vacation.
So
with her mother on board.
So you think a woman is better off staying with a man that takes care of her, provides her, and is there for her emotionally
and financially, yes.
And financially than just leaving and finding, because there's this.
I mean, listen to your own question. Do you not think a woman is better off in that situation? She didn't even
trend on social media where it's just like, if a person's not treating you right, do you go and walk away? Do you think that's productive?
No. Here's the thing. What is the likelihood of finding a man that can actually take care of you physically, emotionally, financially? It's very low. That you're attracted to, that you look up to, that's building you up. It's very, very low. I'll put it to women like this. You're going to leave me for a man that you love less that's going to cheat on you anyway.
Yes.
And I don't, and look, I know it sucks. I swear to God, if I would write a check for $1 million right now. I would be worth 10x more if that feeling inside of me, that sexual urge as a man was gone. I'd be like, life would be so much more productive. I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's cute. I'm not trying to sound like a big G. None of that shit. I'm telling you honestly, my whole 20s, I dealt with the pain of leaving women I love because I wanted to cheat on them. Mm-hmm. I wish I'd have been in a place where I could have just told them the truth, but I didn't know any better because I was young. It's in us. It's truly in us. I think the best women in the world are not the best women in the world. The best women in the world are the ones that do their side of the male and female dynamic and understand how the world actually works. And if a man cheats on you, yes, it's going to hurt. You're going to cry. He should show up for you, but I don't necessarily think you should leave, because finding a man that's going to take care of you emotionally and financially and physically is going to be hard to come by.
Can I ask you guys another question? What do you think of girls moving to men, as in like the girl making the...
What do y'all think? Do y'all think cheating is grounds for leaving, or when you make that oath to till death do us part, that cheating is something that's minuscule that y'all get over? Me personally, I think if it's a double standard, but if the guy is cheating, I think it's something that you guys could build upon and get over in a relationship. If the girl is cheating, the relationship's over. She doesn't respect you. She has to respect you to love you. It doesn't work like that. Vice versa. Men need respect to be loved.
Move. And if you like it, how should they do it? If you don't like it, why not?
My Instagram is Justin Win Waller 7.
That doesn't mean that women don't need respect. Women need respect too, just not to the extent that men do. Because especially when you're in a leadership position, if you're not respected, then you can't lead shit.
Okay.
It happens all day. I mean,
for a wifey, not just because obviously any girl can slide in your DMs and talk, right? But what is a good approach? What is a successful approach for wife? And what is a successful approach for just any girl?
Tori, you want to take it?
So we're talking about for wifey as opposed to just sliding in the DM.
Both, but let's go for wifey first, and then obviously I want to be able to give the sisters them who want a little good time with a rich man. How should they move to them as well?
Well, I think as far as the wife thing's concerned, I think that she's got to just, in the context of the relationship, she's got to behave in a way that is going to make her the most attractive option that guy's ever met to become his wife. And the way to do that is by embodying the characteristics that we've discussed. So things like, modesty, demureness, being pleasant to be around, not being combative, showing that she's going to support him on his mission. If you're doing all of those things in the course of the dating, then he's going to select you.
What are the best ways we can support men on their mission?
Not being combative, I think, is one of them.
On back immerses you in a universe with.
I think that's the number one thing too when it comes to relationships. If you're not combative because you gotta understand, women, if you get with a guy, you're trusting this guy to be your leader. You're trusting him with that. So why not respect the decisions that he's making? Don't be combative about it. Go along with what he's doing. You chose him as a leader, and if he's not making great decisions, then you chose a bad leader.
Like, what's active? Like what? Like that's sort of passive because it's like not doing something. Yeah. But what are things that women can like actively do?
I think being a stabilizing presence when the guy comes back. We've talked a lot about cooking and cleaning and those kinds of things. We've got Uber Eats now, but I think those kinds of things, being nurturing, being supportive in terms of physical tasks.
What's the most supportive thing a woman's done for you?
They've cooked for me. They've woken me up in the morning, maybe breakfast, set out the things like that. Set out the workspace so that making sure that I'm ready to have a good day's work. Sort of just really being there on your team, but and not causing unnecessary stress, not causing unnecessary friction. It's those things I think that are important.
That sounds so.
When it comes to support, let me think. That's a very good question. What's the most supportive thing a female has done for me? How has a female supported me in life? It's funny I had to go way back from my example too, to be honest. And I was like, I want to say maybe 13. Nah, I'm not gonna get into that story. But let's just say there hasn't been too many. Let me think. Yeah, there hasn't been too many times. Not saying that females will support me. Obviously, I'm trying to think of examples outside of my family, because if women in my family support me to the deepest extremity, but that's not what we're talking about. Those are the dynamics we're talking about here, are they? So let us carry on.
beautiful, but it's so crazy how people will say that if you do that, then you're a simp and you're weak if you make your man breakfast.
Well, I've been fortunate to date some very feminine women, and they've just done those things because that's how they wanted to behave. You know, I've also dated some women who were less feminine, and they didn't. But the ones that were really dear to my heart were the ones who did those things. And like you said, they are very, very simple things.
What do you feel like that women are the most clueless about?
Well, I think a lot of it is the feeling that they need to be... that it needs to be a fight with the man the whole time. You know, I mean, I was dating a British girl a few years ago, and every conversation was a battle. Like, she felt like all the time she had to get one up on me. She had to be the dominant one, you know, in a sort of a girl boss kind of a way. And there were times she could be feminine as well. There were times when she slipped into that space. But in the end, I just thought, this is just not an energy that I want to deal with. It's just not an energy that I feel is pleasant.
Yeah.
You know, so
can I ask you to be more specific? Because I like to have like I do this with my boys. Sometimes when they're trying to speak to a girl, I tell them to write a text.
Your boys, you mean people's?
As in my boys, as in my friends, my guy friends.
Yeah,
if they ever ask me for advice on girls, women, what should I say in the first message, and I type it for them. They're quite successful. Can you do that for the girls? What would you write on her behalf to get a man to like her from that first message?
Well, I think it's different. Are we talking about like sliding into DMs on social?
Yeah, how do you slide? How would you advise a woman? Like literally, what would you say?
This is a Floyd bed frame.
Bro, see, this is what a lot of females don't understand. For you guys, it's definitely simple. It's not really about what you say. It's more so about who you are and how you look. That's what's going to get you a response. It doesn't matter what you say if you're not attracted to the guy. That's just really what it is. You can slide in the guy's DM and say hi. Just say hi. That's all you need to say. If he's attracted to you, he'll lead the conversation the way. If he's attracted to you, then he'll steer the conversation into the direction that maybe you were hoping he'd steer it into. If he's not, he's probably not going to respond. Or he might respond. Nah, guys don't respond to be polite regardless. If he responds to you, then he might be somewhat to some extent intrigued by you. So all you literally have to do is say hi. You can be as direct and as bold as you want to be with a guy because we're straightforward, we're straight up. There's nothing a guy is going to try to hide from you. There's no little pickup line or anything you have to give a guy. Just start a conversation, and sooner or later it's going to turn into a phone call, and sooner or later the guy's going to want to see you in person if he truly finds you intriguing, and he's going to do all the romanticizing. You just have to be open to go along for the ride. Let us carry on.
Introduce yourself and get a tick, tick, tick.
I'm a fan of commenting on stories, and I think this goes for either on Instagram. I think this goes for either gender, actually. But I think if a girl,
even if it's even as simple as that, you slide up with a hard eye on a nigga story, trust me, you'll never not hear the fucking. You will never not have communication with that guy. I promise the guy, he's gonna be blowing your phone up for the next however long until he realizes maybe he's not that infatuated with you, or until you guys do start things and get into some type of relationship.
Well, starts following the guy, and then she maybe comments on something. She maybe makes an observation about something, you know, like, oh, I really like that suit you're wearing, or you know, like, oh, I really like the way that, you know, if the guy's giving a presentation, you know, he's filming himself at work, he's giving a presentation. I really like the way you did that. That was very cool. Making some sort of observation about him, I think, would be a good way to initiate the conversation. I mean, I have to caveat this by saying, of course, it's slightly different this way around because guys are going to judge on beauty. So the first thing he's going to do is go and have a look at her feed and see, you know, is she attractive? So that's going to play a huge part. But I do think personalizing it a bit, and starting a conversation, talking about something that the guy's doing is probably better than just sliding in and going, you know,
hey, how are you?
Can I ask Justin?
I like that.
I'm curious. I had a question that I asked earlier. I think you were gone for. What are things that women can do actively to support men on their mission?
So they can take. It's just weird now. Normally I could talk without it. They can look at a situation and try to do things proactively. I love nothing more than a woman that's proactively helping me. Hey, I noticed this. I wash your clothes. I folded them, put them here. You know, and that's not to be, you know, sexist or anything like that, but like a woman that's proactively trying to help you, it is a big deal. A woman that can, again, sit down and have a conversation with you is a big deal. But you're talking about helping, right?
Yeah, well, because we always hear about how like you want to be a man's support system, but I think we don't hear often like specifics on how to do that.
So being really, really helpful in that regard, being able to run an errand for him or be that, but I think what's most important, especially for a high achieving man, a high power man, just be his fucking peace, man. He's him turn circles for you. Incredible.
Do you feel like lack of religion or people not taking spirituality seriously is playing a huge role in why relationships are not working? Because I feel like everything we just discussed now, not being combative, being submissive, helping out, it's all like, for me, I'm a Christian, it's all in the Bible. And I know this generation doesn't really read the Bible as much. So do you feel like that plays a role to why people are so clueless of what it means to be a good wife or a good husband? Because I used to be one of those very combative people, just always argumentative, very toxic. It wasn't until I started to read my Bible that my whole mindset of what it meant to be feminine completely shifted and changed. And I feel like I've made so many improvements in my femininity, and I would want women to
switch to Chrome to securely store your passwords.
Oh my God.
So you can sign in with just a click.
Know the same thing. And would you agree? Are you like, spiritual in that aspect?
Well, first of all, I think a big problem that we see is that people are trading out spirituality for practicing religion. Whether you believe or not, Christianity, particularly in my opinion, is the reason that society developed in such a way that it did. It gave a very positive framework for people to live their lives, and they did so. And for that reason, we were able to be organized.
100%.
Men stopped acting like cavemen. They still acted on some primal things, but by and largely, it's what created order, and order creates the ability to create strong society.
Amen.
As we lose that, it begins to get a little belligerent, right? I don't feel I feel like Christianity is in a bad place. And the reason I think Christianity is in a bad place is because it doesn't have the backbone to stand up for itself the way Islam does in regards to what we're allowing to have happen in the churches.
My fault, I was on mute, but I actually agree with Jay Wilder on this point. I've seen a lot of corruption when it comes to the community, and that's coming from me, and I'm a Christian myself. There's a lot of people masquerading as Christian that pick and choose which sins that pick and choose what to sin and what's not, that pick and choose what laws to abide by, and a lot of these churches are even starting to allow a lot of this new age alphabet community homosexuality within the church, and there's should be no tolerance for it, right? But that's neither here or there. It is true. With the Nation of Islam, I actually don't see any type of I don't see any type of corruption. There's corruption within anything to a certain extent, but I don't see the level of corruption within that religion that there is currently when it comes to Christianity, which is a sad thing to say. Us as Christians, we do need to stand up and start enforcing more so of our beliefs into the world and stop allowing people to come within the religion that don't actually want to abide by the religion. Let us carry on.
Right? And for that reason, people are disenfranchised because they feel the disingenuousness and the two-sidedness of Christianity. I wish Christianity would stand up for what it actually believes in more.
I agree.
And I think people respect that and get behind it in a different way. And I think that's why you see Islam doing so well right now. This is not me saying I'm going to go to Islam. I grew up in the South in Louisiana in America. I live in Miami now, and it is a shit show in both places. I do believe that the basis of Christianity, which is very close to Islam, by the way, is the way for societies to live and function coherently, organized, and safely. And I think that those values, if instilled into men and women, can be very, very helpful in the success of society, families, and children that are coming up. Yes.
Amen.
I would co-sign that. I mean, I think that not just in terms of being submissive in a relationship, but just the whole fabric of society since Christianity has been eroded, which has been going on I mean, you could say it's accelerated recently, but it's been going on really for, half a century or so, like since the Second World War. Organized religion in this country started to decline, and people didn't buy into it in the same way that they used to. And that really, I think, is at the root of all of these societal problems that we're seeing.
Amen. I did a podcast in a church today.
You did a podcast in the church?
In a church. Because it's not a church anymore. Because they're abandoned. They're having to repurpose these buildings. There's one for sale right now. It's $177,000 on the market right now for sale. It's deserted.
All right, going back into relationships before I let them go too far away, I do believe that the lack of religion in the world, lack of I don't want to say spirituality, but the lack of religion, the lack of faith behind God in the world and in relationships is maybe the main reason why relationships look the way they are. Like they were saying that Christianity, particularly, I'm going to speak on that because that's what I know, but there's a blueprint for what a family is supposed to look like, what a man is supposed to do, what a woman is supposed to do, and that's what we've abided by for years, and that's what's built civilization today, right? Like he was saying, it takes order to create a society, and that's what religion initially gave us, was order, right? Now everybody's trying to be tolerant to everything that everybody wants to do, and that's just the world can't be like that. We can't be tolerant to absolutely and everything, because then at that point, at which point do we draw the line, correct? So I think the fact that we've strayed away from religion has the majority of the reason why the relationships, families, and society looks the way that it does today, because people want to be their own. People want to go based off of their own feelings and not based off of faith and religion.
Why do you feel like Christianity, sorry to shift the topic, but why do you feel like Christianity?
Oh my God, people all these commercials, bro. Come on, bro.
No longer has a backbone. I personally feel like people have taken the God will forgive you no matter what too literally, and maybe that's why, it has no more backbone.
Because people are going directly against what's in the actual word. Like, there's no such thing as gay preachers. Sorry.
Yep.
It's not because I hate gay people. That's not what the religion is. People feel that.
I didn't want to say that earlier either, but that's the only reason why I agree with him. There's no possible way that you could be a homosexual preacher. You can't take the word from somebody that's actively working, or that's lifestyle actually goes against the word and what God said. So there's no level of tolerance for things like that. And that's the problem. People think everybody's supposed to be tolerant and that God himself is tolerant, which he's not. That's just the truth.
You know what bothers people more than anything in the world? It's not the truth. It's deceit. There's deceit in Christianity right now. They're putting gay flags on churches. I just saw one the other day.
Crazy.
Yeah. And look, it's not because I hate gay people. I don't hate gay people at all. But it's not Christianity. It's not what's in the fucking manual, which is the Bible, right? Now, if you have that situation anywhere else in your life, if you have a job somewhere, or somebody makes a promise to you, or somebody does something for you, and then literally they don't do that, you will feel deceit. It's not the truth that bothers people, it's deceit always. So that's what I think is failing. And then we've created a society in which, from a legal perspective, we're not in America. You can literally have children out of wedlock and cash flow from it. The laws are set up in a way. I said this on the show, I think yesterday. It's when I used to grocery shop, I would be in line. I'd see a woman sitting there with 6 fucking kids. She'd have 2 buggies. One where it was a Louisiana purchase card. She's paying in food stamps. The man's gone. There's multiple baby daddies. Same woman, She left him because he cheated. Okay, well now you have 4 baby daddies, right? And now I'm paying for it with tax money. Like the incentive to have a nuclear family is gone, and they're pitting men and women against each other. You could make a Facebook account tomorrow that says you're a 23-year-old white male in the or black male. It wouldn't matter. The things that they would put in your face to give you emotion would be completely different just based off of what you put in there. And why does that make sense? Well, with technology, maybe we need men's backs a little bit less. Women are coming up. Women are not stupid. They're good in the workplace. I'm not saying that. They're incredible. My best people some of them are women. But what do you get when you break the nuclear family up? 2 people paying taxes.
How you said your highest paid employee is a woman?
Yeah.
Is she married?
Yes.
And how does she like navigate that?
Look, they have a very traditional relationship. I don't want to speak on that too much
Mhm.
because they're very close to me and
Mhm.
it is work stuff. But she's a very intelligent woman. She's a true pro.
Mhm.
She's really good at what she does. He's been doing his job for a long time. They've been married for God, I think 30 years.
Mhm.
You know, they have one of her other sons work for me. He's actually in accounting.
Mhm.
And they're the most based family I've ever met. In fact, in a lot of ways, I think that they're closer to me than even like that woman is closer to me than my own mother is.
Mhm.
You know, we're tight. I talk to her every day. So,
Does her
yeah,
husband make more than her?
I don't know,
You don't know.
and I don't want to speculate.
Mhm.
I'm close to him,
No, I'm just wondering because you were talking about
and that's very new, by the way.
her
Like,
making
I
that
don't think
much.
she's ever made this much money.
Can I
Oh,
ask
okay.
you a
She
quick
deserves
question?
it, though. She's worth every fucking penny.
Yeah, because when you were talking earlier, you're saying it's going to be hard for me because I'm tall and like I also like make a lot of money.
Yeah,
Like, what
but she's 30 years into a marriage. They're
Mhm.
past that.
Mhm.
You know when I really think the pressure is on?
Mhm.
25 to 45. She's past that.
Mhm.
Like, honestly, I think she does it more
No, I
for
was
me
just
than
curious,
anything else.
like what traits do you think in my position I should be looking for?
So you're banana bread experts.
At this point,
They came in and were looking for financing. They needed some seed money to get the business going.
I was
Yeah, no, but I'm just curious. Do you think like relationships can ever work when the girl out earns the guy?
I think it's very hard.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very hard because because that's the provide part, right?
Mhm.
You know, maybe he can protect you, but
Mhm.
you already know that. He's a man. It's
Yeah.
not you already know you can't whoop his ass, right?
Yeah.
So then where's the provide thing?
Mhm.
And that's why I don't really believe in power couples in that way. Now, somebody could have status and they could have double status, but most often it's not going to work. And a lot of times the power couples are like famous people.
Mhm.
It's not really a power couple. I actually have a friend of mine. His wife got a really solid real estate job. And ever since she's been making that big money, they've had problems. And like they're living in different houses. And like this is a big,
Wow.
strong, masculine, handsome man.
Mhm.
And it just fucks it.
I have a question. Sorry, just quickly.
Mhm.
I'm 23 and I would love to be married by like 25.
I think that's a great goal, by the way.
Thank you.
Women push that out way further.
Yeah, because I don't want to like let go of my prime years. So what steps do you think I should take to actually get to that place where by 25 I'm married? I'm 23, by the way.
Yeah, so that's probably not going to happen. Like, right, because you're going to at least date for 2 years. No,
Okay.
hear me out.
Yeah.
Like mathematically, that's going to be a tough one, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to understand too, is a lot of times that people set goals and they don't understand all the like things they're going to have to hurdle. That's why I think that I love what you're doing because you might miss it and get married at 27, right?
Mhm.
I like that. I like that from you. I feel like you're very based, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much.
I think that being the right kind of fabric.
Okay, and what does that look like?
Everything I was speaking to her about earlier.
Okay,
as
yeah,
far as like not having the skin out there, kind of stay up to date on what's going on in the news. Be conservative, especially if you want a man. Like any man that's working his ass off is probably conservative because he doesn't want to give all his tax money away. He doesn't want to hear about people crying because he's getting banged every day while he's winning. He's getting arrows put in his back. People are stabbing him in the back. People are not paying him. He's got employees quitting. He doesn't want to hear any crybaby shit, right? Real men have real fucking problems. And so they don't like it when people cry just to get extra when they've done all the damn work. So if you can do that and then do the things I was talking about earlier about appreciate, hey man, listen, I really appreciate that weekend you just gave me. I wouldn't have had it because of you. And it's because you work so hard. And I really respect and admire how hard you work to make my life better. I love being with you. Those kinds of things. And then showing it with little acts of love. You ain't got to clean the whole house if you don't want to. Just wash a load of clothes or wipe off the cabinets and just show you have that care. Leave them that note. Go kill it today. I'm so proud of you. That's the kind of shit that makes a man never want to leave a woman because he's getting a return on investment of all that hard work that he's putting into you. I think if you want to make a man stay, make him feel appreciated all the time. I think it's a big step.
It's those it really is those little things, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah, we don't want a whole lot. a whole lot. Just acknowledge the fact that I'm out there fighting dragons for you. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm taking all that energy and all that pain and everything I had to risk to be able to bring it back to you and spend a weekend with you in the Bahamas. Like, just make it known that you appreciate that so much, you know, and he is happy to do it at that point. Yes, ma'am.
You know, you have a lady friend.
I might start a new channel just doing this. Yeah, what's up?
Usually people talk about men and women shouldn't be friends. You mentioned a lady
I agree with that.
in your life. Okay, so why can she be your friend? And you said that you've got women in your life that they're all like, you've got girlfriends that do bring value to your life. So do you have friends that are girls?
And would you like that as well? Would you like your wife to have male friends?
No guy friends.
So you don't rate the
There's
the
no
husband of
listen,
friends?
there's no man. Find a guy with a girlfriend that's 300 pounds. Good luck. And there's no look, any guy that's your friend wants to sleep with you.
So
like if me and you were friends, I want to fuck you. I'm going to be nice long enough to stick around while you complain about your boyfriend and give me all the answers to the test. Then I'm going to do all those perfect things. I don't personally run the game like that because I think that's bitch shit.
Shut up. He used to run the game like that, but let's just all keep it a buck here, man. Any guy friends you ladies have, they're just waiting on you to be ready to be open to them. They're waiting on the boyfriend to slip up, to fuck her. They're waiting on the crack in the armor for them to slip through. I don't think there's any way guys and females can be friends unless one of you finds the other utterly repulsive. That's just the sad truth. And even when you do find one or the other, even when one of y'all does find the other utterly repulsive, the repulsive motherfucker still wants to hit, which is 9 times out of 10 gonna be the nigga, right? So, because we're not the gatekeepers, y'all are, so y'all know this. I have absolutely zero female friends that are just. I have zero female friends. I have family that's females. I have females that I get along with, but if they're not, any female in my life is somebody I've been intimate with, wanted to be intimate with, or I'm currently intimate with. That's just nothing but the truth. And that doesn't necessarily mean I said too much. Let's just let the shit keep playing.
But I'm just hypothetical.
That's just because I don't honestly believe that there's any other way that a female can help you to, and if it's not in an intimate way, if you're going through a hard thing in your life, you having a conversation with the female isn't going to fix shit. You're going to want to be laid up. You're going to want to be touching. You're going to want to have that type of intimate connection to where you can, hold your female or whatever female it is, because that's just the way God wired us to interact with one another. You can't have that same type of connection with a guy because God himself did not wire men to interact with men like that. So that's just how I look at it.
Telling you, if a guy's sticking around, he wants to be your friend, he wants to sleep with you.
What about the lady that you were just talking about? Is she not your friend? That you mentioned that they're quite close to you,
the
one that works with you, and she's got a husband.
Do you want to see her?
Dude, first of all, she's 50-something years old.
Okay, so
there's 20 years between us.
The age that, but
yeah.
I mean,
and I'll tell you something.
And you're young and handsome.
I got blessed with thank you. I got blessed with a gift. If I sign your paychecks, I do not want to sleep with you.
Okay, so you
there's
can be
too much
friends
to lose
with girls. So maybe like a woman
I
can have a business with her boss.
Yeah, but I wouldn't hang out outside of work.
Okay.
Like when I took all of them to Florida, her husband was there.
Okay. But
switch to Chrome to protect yourself from malware so you can surf without getting fished.
Yeah, he's one of the main ones I want to know is coming. Right?
Okay.
Because I would never disrespect him. I love that man to death.
Okay.
I make him a part of. I include him.
Okay, so there's dynamics that you can work with where men and women can be friends then.
Oh man, she's one of my favorite people in the whole world.
Okay, so that's good. So you can't generally, but you have to create a certain dynamic that is right, and then you can actually do it.
Yeah, I don't like it to be within range. I don't particularly like to hire women.
Mm-hmm.
Don't particularly like to.
Why?
I'm not. No, you didn't let me finish the sentence.
She's ready.
Calm down. that are. Yeah, let me finish the sentence. Mm-hmm. I don't particularly like to hire women that are close enough in age to me that there could be a thing.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it can look, dude, I'm the boss. I'm coming in. I'm dressed nice. I'm taking control of every situation. We have over 200 employees.
Yeah.
Like, no, bro, I don't need it.
So if you're an attractive woman, then you might as well say bye-bye to having guy friends, even if you're older.
Say again?
So if you're an attractive woman, even if you're older, you should say bye-bye.
I mean, if you're a woman at all, I think you...
This is the thing, too. There's also a beneficial side for it for women. There's a lot of simp-ass niggas that will be your friend for years and, you know, change your car oil, change your tires, fix your engine, do it. There's a lot of things that you could benefit from these simp-ass niggas that will sit around and wait years for you to finally give them a green light that's never coming. You know what I'm saying? So there could be beneficial things for a female to keep a guy around like that, but at the end of the day, I feel like it's just not appropriate. So maybe you should just avoid those type of situations. I mean, you know, it could be dangerous, and it could steer your potential mate in the wrong direction because a real nigga is not going to deal with that. That's just a fact. Real nigga is not going to deal with that.
You just need to understand if your man comes to you and says, listen, I don't want you to have guy friends, you need to truly understand that any guy that's acting like his friend, like your friend, wants to sleep with you.
Okay.
And every other man knows it.
Okay.
And anybody that says otherwise is a liar.
So what if the man then, let's say you're in a relationship and your guy friend wants to create a relationship with your partner because he wants to still be your friend, even if though you're young as a woman? Is that big?
Yeah, so I'm around. Look, my friends me and Andrew are very close. I've been on sitting at countless tables with Andrew and Tristan Tate and Sterling Cooper, and they all bring beautiful, stunning women to the table. The only thing that happens when they get up to pee is I ask them, how in the hell did you land him? That is your job as a friend. You know, that snake shit, I would leave my girl and my bank card with the Tates any day of the week.
Okay.
Because and here's why, and this goes back to ethics before you need them. This happens all the time. Two guys are friends. They've been friends 20 years. One of them gets married. The relationship starts getting rocky, right? They get separated. The woman starts, whether it be spite or scorn or whatever, the only man that she really has a relationship outside of her husband was that friend. That dude sleeps with that girl, and he ruined a 20-year marriage. I mean, friendship. Ruined it. Burnt it to the ground. They'll never be friends again. Why? Because he's not in enough abundance. He didn't have the ethics to be in enough abundance to be so proud of the fact that he could tell. There's no way in hell. I have told some seriously beautiful women to fuck off in my Instagram inbox so me and Andrew and Tristan can laugh about it because they slept with that girl 3 years ago. There's no fucking way. We take pride in it. The only way it's easy to take pride in it as a man to be in serious abundance because they don't date slouches. I mean, tens. And I'll give you an example. There's this girl, she messaged me one time in my inbox. And I'm like, hey, Andrew, I noticed that you followed this girl. He said, yeah, I dated her 3 years ago. She's a dickhead. Perfect. Got it. Andrew said you're a dickhead. Bye. Boom. That girl has never had somebody reject her like that. Ever. And I like it. And so does he. Because it's funny.
It's fun.
Because it's fun because what other and that's why you have to, like, when we talk about, like, you have to have standards in your life.
All suits are $49 to $109. And the spring clearance sale is here. 3-piece at $59. Hundreds of styles.
Fine. So okay, so there's like little
married male friends.
No.
Okay, married female. Okay,
No,
okay.
I don't think a woman should have male friends.
Oh, like at all, zero.
But if she wants to lie to herself, if she's like, hey, this guy's my friend, but he wants to sleep with me, that's one thing. Especially if you're single.
Okay.
So what do you do?
But if you get a boyfriend and he's like, nah, bro, then if you really love him, it won't even be a problem to get rid of that guy friend. Because then it goes back to based and sitting down and have a real conversation. You know in your heart the guy wants to fuck you. Like, come on. You do know. If you went up to him and you're like, hey, let's have sex right now, he would do it.
I think some of my guys would find that very strange. They'll be like, are you on drugs?
Yeah, as they're like, okay.
But I was going to say, I ask because I have a lot of male friends.
He wants to sleep with you.
No, wait. But I believe that there's almost like, at least whilst I'm single, right? There's a sacrifice that I make where it's like I'll create very strict boundaries because I believe there's a lot of value in me being, especially because I've got sisters. I don't have brothers, right? I think there's a lot of value in me having that male energy because my guy friends are the ones that kind of give me the right advice and guide me into things like, for example, what you mentioned of don't dress too provocatively. That's a little bit much. Don't, like things like this. They kind of put me in check because they are the way I can reflect my femininity on something that is not just a woman's femininity, it's like a femininity from a man's perspective. Because obviously, if you're not in a relationship and if you don't have your dad around for whatever reasons, or if you don't have brothers, then where do you get that sort of source and knowledge that sometimes only a man can give you?
Well, I mean, if you were friends with some couples, that would be the ideal. Like you're saying,
that'd be a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because that way you would get some of that from the male in
a successful one at that.
Yeah, but you would also get some exposure to a successful relationship as well, which is kind of, Pearl often talks about, learning wife skills and stuff. I mean, that would be the ideal way to do it.
And that's also another really great way to find the right man, because what'll happen is he's got a friend that's looking too, and that's how people get put together. You meet them in the right atmosphere. Oh yeah, they all came over. You should come over. Jim's coming over. Blah blah blah. Jim's a stud. Boom, married. Bam. You're in the app.
All right, I think that's enough of this video, man. Long story short, to wrap it up, the best place to look for females is not the club, anywhere but the club, the grocery store, car shop. I'm not talking car shop in terms of like, girl knows what you're talking about. I'm talking about them confused shorties that in there don't know what they're looking for, but need help look or something. But yeah, I mean, the gym is a cool place. It's just, you gotta come correct in the gym. You can't be coming on no weird shit, on no creepy shit in the gym. You gotta really come correct if you're gonna choose to bite down in the gym. Just because, I don't know, a lot of females be real insecure and self-conscious in the gym. Maybe you don't want to fuck up their little gym flow or make them feel uncomfortable. That's just one thing you gotta be wary of. Other places you meet a girl at, church, yes, definitely church. If you meet a girl, if you're a religious person, yeah, you should meet a girl at church. That's probably grounds for a great relationship. Excuse me. Throughout, I don't know, your mom's friends, whatever it may be, stuff like that. But anywhere but the club, if you meet her out, it's not gonna work. Can males and females be friends? Yes, if you guys both find each other repulsive, that's the only way. If you guys both find each other repulsive. Outside of that, no. And yeah, we can be friends in terms of we talk about a lot of things, but we're intimate. If that's you want to call that friends, sure, I guess. But there's still a level of intimacy that male and females desire from one another, which is what prohibits us from being cordial in terms of a friendship. That's how friendships between male and males exist, or male or female and female, even though females and females are low-key intimate with each other to an extent too throughout their relationships. But men aren't wired that way, and that's how we are wired when it comes to women. So that's just how I see things. Like he was saying, I wouldn't date a woman in the right place. I know a lot of you savages though, y'all definitely would. Get your bread how you get it right. Maybe that's a good way to find a girl, but I definitely wouldn't, because then you make the work environment uncomfortable. If y'all do break up, if something happens, you get caught cheating, it brings unnecessary drama into the right place, which is completely avoidable. So I wouldn't go ahead and do that. But we're gonna go ahead and get our last chats in. Actually, we short on time. I definitely have to go. Peace to the collective.